There was something innately relaxing about Friday evenings in London. They were especially pleasant in late August. As 5 o'clock came and went, and the minute hand progressed steadily around towards 6, you could feel the city unwinding beneath the balmy, dust-filled sky. The chaos of its streets was as wild and noisy as ever. The rivers of traffic flowed and tooted. The sidewalks thronged with bustling pedestrians, yet the grump was absent. People were still rushing, yes, but now they were rushing to get somewhere where they wanted to be, not because they were on a time clock. In the offices of Goldstein and Hoff, on the 6th floor of Branscombe Court, in the heart of the capital's glittering square mile, Louise Jennings felt exactly the same way. She had 10 minutes' worth of paperwork to finish, and then the weekend officially began. And how she was anticipating it. She was out riding on Saturday morning, and in the afternoon was shopping for a new outfit as they had a Rotary Club dinner that evening. Sunday would just be a nice lazy day, which, if the weather reports were anything to go by, they could spend in the garden or on a drive into the Chilterns. Louise was a secretary by trade, but that job title might have been a little misleading. She was actually a senior secretary. She had several staff of her own, was ensconced for most of the working day in her private office, and answered directly to Mr. Malcolm Forrester, who was MD of Goldstein and Hoff's compliance department. She turned over a neat £40,000 per annum, which wasn't bad for an ex-secondary school girl from Burnt Oak, and was held in high esteem by most of the company's employees, particularly the men. Though this might have owed as much to her shapely 30-year-old figure, long strawberry blonde hair and pretty blue eyes as to her intellect. Not that Louise minded. She was spoken for. She'd been married to Alan for 6 years now, and had dated him for 3 years before that. But she enjoyed being attractive. It made her husband proud, and, so long as other men restricted themselves to looking, she had no gripes. If she was honest, her looks were a weapon in her armoury. Few in the financial sector, of either sex, were what you'd call reconstructed. It was a patriarchal society, and though the potential was always there for women to wield great power, they still had to look and behave like women. When Louise had first been interviewed for a job with Goldstein and Hoff, she'd been under strict orders from Alan to make the best of herself. To wear a smart, tight skirt, high heels, a clingy, low-cut blouse. It had got her the job, and had remained her official uniform ever since. OK, on one hand it might be a little demeaning to consider that you'd only advanced through life because you were gorgeous, but that was never the whole story. Louise was highly qualified, but so were numerous other women, in which case anything that gave you an edge was to be embraced. It was just after 6 when she got away, hurrying across the road to Mad Jack's, where Simone, Nicola and Carly, her 3 underlings, all of whom had been released at the generous Friday afternoon-only time of 4:30, would be waiting for her. Mad Jack's, a one-time gin palace dating from Dickens's day, had been refurbished for the modern age, but still reeked of atmosphere. Behind its traditional wood and glass entrance was a dimly lit interior, arranged on split levels and filled wherever you looked with timber beams, hardwood panelling and exposed brickwork. As always at this time of the week, it was crowded to its outer doors with shouting, besooted revellers. The noise level was astonishing. Guffaws echoed from wall to wall. There was a clashing of glasses and a banging of tables and chairs on the solid oak floor. It could have been worse, of course. Louise had started at Goldstein and Hoff before the smoking ban had been introduced, and back in those days the place was fogged with cigar fumes. The 4 girls made a little enclave for themselves in one of the far corners and settled down. They ordered a salad each, though with a central order of chips accompanied by mayo and ketchup dips.